We're now joined by Fred Tresler, the president and CEO of Trax. More importantly, Fred's someone I've known personally and is a good friend for the last 15 years or so. Fred, how are you today?
I am great, Chuck, and thank you so much for having us on today and your great commitment to the DAV Department of Massachusetts, giving up your valuable airtime today to help our local veterans. You guys are the best.
Well, we're not the best. The veterans are actually the best. We're just, we're radio hosts. But talk to me a little bit about the history of your company and how did you get partnered with the DAV Department of Massachusetts, actually?
We're a small, boutique, family-owned business that's 41 years young. We've organized running and walking events in over 90 international cities, in places like the Barcelona Olympic Stadium, the Stockholm Olympic Stadium, Berlin Olympic Stadium, in Busan, Korea. I mean, we've literally been all over the world. And Dan Stack, and the DAV is too humble. I was listening to Coleman Nee earlier. We'll take that up in a moment. But what the DAV Department of Massachusetts does is absolutely phenomenal. Dan Stack came to me, cold called me, never knew who he was. I didn't even know what the DAV was. He said, we have this little event. It's over Castle Island. It's being put on by our national office. I've got a strong local committee. I think we could do it better if, we did it ourselves. Can you come take a look at it? That was 6 or so years ago. Did that. Dan came to my office a couple of weeks later. He says, here's what the budget is. I said, Dan, we can do it for less money, and I promise you we can do it better. But I said, Dan, what are your goals for this event? Okay? And he was crystal clear. Okay? Dan is amazing. He says, Fred, he said, we need young veterans and their families to become aware of the Disabled American Veterans as an organization and what we do and what we can do to help them. And we need to better honor our veterans on Veterans Day. He said, those are my two top goals. He said, the next one, yes, if we can make some money along the way, it would be great, but I want our young people to know about it. And I said, well, Dan, how does the 5K fit into your plan? And he said, just as Coleman just mentioned in his interview, that we have to find ways to reach this next generation of veterans and to understand their uniqueness and to understand what they're interested in. So folks who have served in Iraq, Afghanistan, et cetera, who are in their 20s and 30s, having a 5K, an event that they can come and run, walk, or roll, is a family-friendly activity that's really well-suited for that age group. So I said, Dan, we will focus on helping you achieve your goals. And through the help of what you've done with your program, with what WBZ-TV has done as a media partner, it's been absolutely phenomenal in spreading the word. A great example of that is when we first got involved, there were just over 100 veterans doing that. Tomorrow we have 432 veterans registered to participate. They've registered, they participate for free. And we have 1,500 people registered. It sold out 3 weeks ago. We've sold out the last 3 years since the pandemic. But this organization, led by Dan Stack as CEO, any successful organization, you always look at who's at the top, what leadership are they providing, and Dan is just an amazing leader. To try to put it in perspective, Chuck, for people who are out there listening to you today, we all have to fill out our taxes, okay? Last time I checked, the tax code is over 4,000 pages. So it's people like you, okay, and Michael and whatever, who understand tax code, understand financial services, understand investing. For the rest of us, we don't have the time to study 4,000 pages of tax code. So you need to get help in filling out your taxes. And one of the big things that DAV does is they make sure they're aware of all the latest changes in veterans' opportunities, okay, and they make sure that they sit down as a paralegal and help family members, help that veteran understand what is possible for them, and then help them fill out the paperwork. And if they hit a snag with the federal government, they go and advocate for them to see that they get what they truly deserve so that they can put their lives on the best possible path forward.
Well, Fred, I thank you for joining us today. I thank you for all the work that you've done in terms of, helping this event become what it is now. It's just a fantastic event, and I know that I'm looking forward to participating on Saturday. Can't wait to see you there. And, again, it's just a great event. So thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome, Chuck. And again, you lead by example. You've been coming out to this race for years. You've been doing challenges with folks to try to beat you at this race. Rumor has it you're not quite in the same shape you've been in some prior years, but the important thing is you're going to be out here tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Castle Island.
I'll still run as fast as I can. That's Fred Tresler, President and CEO of Trax.